Beneath the Five Kings, a Pathfinder 2nd Edition stream of the Sky King's Tomb adventure path.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And
I
look.
gotta mute myself.
Oh, we got
Oh,
all
yeah.
cameras? We have all cameras?
Oh,
Huang's was off by
Sure.
default, but it's trying to
I was
load.
gonna say.
It's trying real hard.
We have 5
Think I can
cameras and 2
I think I can hear the fan from here.
2 spinning
Alright,
squares.
take off.
Hard as it can. It can only do so much.
That's true. And it's a trooper,
Yeah.
and we appreciate it for that.
Getting was it the smallest engine, little engine that could?
Little
It's
engine
a
that
little
could.
engine that could
that
vibes.
can't, but does sometimes try before it crashes.
It's the little engine that got traumatized by vet school and no longer can produce.
Oh no. Oh god. Okay, you left. I was like, uh-oh. That's fantastic.
Game over, man.
Jokes are becoming too real, man.
Just stomp on the floor if your entire computer's on fire.
If
That's
your
fair. I'll
computer
give it-
catches on fire,
Stomp
stop,
twice
drop, and
if
roll.
I need to call the fire department.
Actually, just call the fire department.
Okay.
No. Stomping twice is much faster.
Touche.
It's a couple of
Alright, we got a banter top?
Oh yeah, I was
Like
gonna
that?
say
A band top?
I'm here with Austin and Dylan and Lorna and Josh and Justin and Sarah, and my name's Brendan, and we're gonna play Pathfinder with you all. Woohoo! All right.
we really
yeah,
should introduce each other at the start of every episode. I like that. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah,
There
it's
we go.
fun. Sarah may or may not be here today. We'll see.
Sarah has tried. She made a grave
She's trying
mistake
so
in
hard.
trying to start the camera because it's just killed
The computer's
everything.
just recycling all of its memory.
Hmm.
Does someone have a banter topic? Is there something that we're definitely going to talk about
I
today?
think Justin's got it, right?
Justice
I
got
do.
it.
I do have
That's what I
one.
heard.
If
Ooh, I
you
think
could
it is.
have any fictional device, what would it be? So,
Ooh.
lightsaber, sonic screwdriver, things like that.
That's a good one.
Mm-mm.
Any fictional device.
Is there a size limit?
I mean, not necessarily.
I would say, like, you have
to becoming a place.
Yeah, you have to be able to like own the thing. I would say, like maybe like
Yeah,
the
you,
like
you
whoever.
probably
yeah.
shouldn't have a Death Star, but
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a.
What
it's
about a world engine?
It's a topic for
like
discussion.
I
That
said, not technically. There's not really a size limit, but you know, whatever. It's not like it's like a grade or anything. Mine's
saw-
easy. Mine would be a lightsaber, even
I
though
saw-
I'd
Yeah.
probably like cut my arm off or something because I'm an idiot. But you know,
Sarah said the stream is amazing. Only better if it would let me join. I love you, Sarah. Good luck. Like the
can't roll
very
it.
first thing that came to mind was the Omnitrix from Ben 10.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't know how useful that is in our universe where we haven't discovered any aliens yet. You know?
Yeah.
how
does the
you-
Omnitrix-
how useful is a lightsaber?
Right.
It's not. But
I
want
mean, more. I guess does the Omnitrix come preloaded with anything when I get it? Like, am I getting it at a certain point in the
Sure.
show?
Whatever.
Like the
dude.
original 10?
I was gonna say
The
when
OG
Ben 10
10?
got, there was 10
I mean,
aliens on there.
Literally whatever you want to do. You
Yeah.
know, if it's a fully loaded one, then sure.
Yeah, Omnitrix comes to mind right off the rip. But, like, Iron Man armor, like the Infinity War,
There you go.
nanotech, Iron Man armor.
That would be awesome.
That's stored inside of you. Like, that also comes to mind. So that's kind of where I'm floating right now.
Was it stored inside him? I thought it was inside.
It's in the chest piece. It's inside of him in the comics,
Okay,
but it's in the
gotcha.
movies. It's in the chest piece.
Ah, comics. Makes sense.
Nanobots.
Yep. I need to turn this music down.
Who else?
This is a hard one because
Josh, you gonna get
Right?
the one ring
There's a
to rule
lot.
them all,
Yeah.
and in the darkness bind them.
I mean,
But
it's
Lord,
technically a device. It's not a device.
May not hear us.
I don't think.
Oh, we can hear you.
Hear you. If you're talking, it's very quiet on my end at least. Let me turn you guys up a little bit.
Oh yeah. Boom. Get turned.
Can
up.
our viewers take bets for how long it takes me to figure this out? That's what Sarah says. I'm guessing before we get started with the actual game, you'll be ready to go. Ooh, Sarah would probably want a working computer.
Mm.
There you go.
Mhm.
Wait, is that fictional though? I guess
Some-
it's fictional to
To
her.
her.
Yeah, not real. But I don't know. The ones that I'm thinking of are linked to superpowers. So like Cerebro for Professor X, but like I don't know. That's just
I
things that
mean-
like enhance.
I mean, I guess you could say just the most advanced supercomputer that could
Yeah.
ever exist could
Yeah.
be Cerebro, but I think I get what you mean.
The
but it's
blue.
more like a sentient thing in the comics.
It's true.
Like they go way into it.
The Blue Beetle is a thing from DC, like an item that like gives you.
Mhm.
Thinking of items
Yeah.
that give you superpowers.
And it's semi-sentient.
The green
But it-
or the Green Lantern ring. That's pretty solid.
That's
one.
actually that's a good
Mhm.
one. That's a solid one. Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, would I be able to lift Mjolnir?
I would,
well,
but no, not about you.
Josh, you have something to say?
Lorna had something to say.
I do, but I don't know if you can hear me.
I can.
Mine, I know this is kind of bigger than probably what we were thinking, but I would pick the magic school bus.
Oh, no, that's solid.
That's valid.
You can
That's
have it. You
valid.
can have a
That's
document that says I own the Magic School Bus. I feel like that's fair.
That really excited Brendan.
It's a good one.
Brendan was really happy with
That's
that
a
answer.
good
That's
one.
is a good solid. That's a
That's
solid
That's
one.
a good one.
Then you could go inside of people and make them not sick or animals.
I
right.
would help Brendan first. If I
I
had
think-
the magic school bus.
What if you went in and found nothing wrong though?
Then I would be no worse off than any of the doctors that have actually been trying to take care of Brendan.
Touche.
If you fly out and you're like, kids, today's episode is about anxiety.
Drugging Brendan, and we're like, maybe if he gets some fucking sleep, he'll be healthy.
We'll be like,
Just
this is strange, kids. This man appears to have no white blood cells.
No?
Oh,
hello.
Sarah.
Oh,
My bet was before we got started
Pretty
actually
squad.
playing, so that's
It's modern civilization at its finest.
hell yeah.
Although
Dylan, you got a
it's
whole ass
repeatable.
mug.
Yeah,
Nice. I need a
it
mug.
works.
It's called a tankard.
Sure. A
Mhm.
chalice. Not
Yeah,
a chalice.
I
but
only
that's
filled
what
it
my chalice is.
3/4, but I
That's
get the
fair.
job done.
All right, so noted. I will not try the Fujitsu camera again.
The effort is appreciated.
Yes, we'll get there eventually.
Tried that.
Mine did the same thing that I tried to do the camera one time, and it also completely just obliterated my computer like it did for you. So
Classic.
Classic.
Sarah, our banter question is: if you could have one fictional object from I guess anything, from a
Anything,
book
yeah.
series, a movie series,
One
What would it be?
fictional device.
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 Well, like
I feel
that
like an ide-
could also
one
mean
item,
like the
too,
One
yeah.
Ring or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I haven't gone, and I'll
Yeah.
give Sarah some time to think.
Go for it.
I would not pick the One Ring because my name is not Sauron, so all it would do is
Mhm.
corrupt me and eventually turn me into a ring ring. So I don't
Yeah.
know. That's not really the future I want for myself.
Alright.
But
But I did
invisible
see
for a little
meme
bit.
the other day.
Hmm?
That was the meme template of the guy kind of halfway pinning a girl against the wall at a party, and he's very passionately explaining something.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
me explaining why one Venator class Star Destroyer could allow you to rule the Earth. I was like, I guess, but
See-
that's too big. So I would probably go with the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Ooh.
because
That's good.
I guess the Magic School Bus gives you time travel powers too.
The Magic School Bus is very utility based.
See,
There's a lot of
I
things.
see.
That one.
Who's making fun of me? But I think
No.
that might be that might be the most powerful pick so far.
Yeah.
Who said that one?
me,
Lorna.
I like it.
Big brain.
Siri, and Tucker are playing a little too hard. I'll be right back.
No, don't stop them from having fun.
They are fun. And Siri hisses at Tucker, and Tucker's like, What are we doing?
Is everyone happy? Is everyone having fun? I don't understand social cues.
Siri is Lorna. Oh, so my answer for that question would probably be, Kim Possible had that like phone thing,
Yeah.
but it had like her really smart friend that just knew the answers to everything always.
Wade.
You want
Yeah,
a phone
wait.
number of a smart person?
Yes, I want a device that's like early 2000s grade, like GPS, but also has a Brainiac inside of it, which is basically a smartphone, but I feel like it's actually superior.
I like the energy you're going for, though.
Maybe you could be like,
Yeah.
"Hey Siri," and it would answer.
That's
or
crazy.
like
Yeah.
Alexa.
Is not Wade. Siri is
That's true.
subpar to Wade.
You could do a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wade was solving international problems off of Nokia technology, so
That's true.
I did say in a work meeting, presenting to the entire company of like 10,000 people at one point, "Call me, beat me if you want to reach me."
That's amazing.
Tucker.
And I did get some good comments back from people that know me about, like, I saw what you did there.
I
So
saw what you did there.
Can you sit down?
God, I feel like I could think about this question all day and have a different answer, you know?
Portal gun.
Oh, you know what?
Portal gun
God.
would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you can't change it.
You
You're
can.
Iron Man.
No,
now.
you absolutely
That's-
can't. No. Iron Man or Omnitrixed. Which, both of those probably give me valid options for speed, so I could get to places very well. But man, a portal gun is just really
That's just
useful.
fun. Yeah.
It's fun, but also just like have a portal gun, like, just a portal, like, man, it's good stuff. I think I'll stick with mine, though.
he would take a cloning machine so that his parents could be home all the time.
What?
Nothing.
Tucker and Geralt want copies of us.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A
I
cloning
understand.
machine.
Is anyone not? Brendan, did you go?
Nope.
He put words in my mouth.
No. It's a tough one. I think I'm strongly leaning towards Pokeballs right now, although I can't find a practical use for them without actually Pokemon being real.
no,
Bounty
Brendan,
hunting.
No, Brendan, you use it for feral cats.
I mean, maybe.
And the most
I
recent
mean-
episode of Rick and Morty, he used a Pokeball on Bigfoot. So
I mean, in the game, they use them for storage, item
Brennan-
storage.
Creates the most successful trap neuter release program ever just with Pokeballs.
I was gonna say, if it is like a guaranteed thing, like I just throw that at wild animals and then they'll obey me, that's like
Master
a pretty
Ball.
cool.
yeah, the Master Ball, yeah.
Well, I mean, I can give it as many tries as I want. Like an elephant's not gonna be that mad.
Okay.
If
I don't know how painful the process is, for like a not Pokemon.
If you think
That's
about
fair.
it, a Pokeball is kind of like a pocket dimension, or like
Yeah.
a bag of holding, because like think of it like the Whale Lord. Think of that, how much that thing is compressed to fit inside a Pokeball,
Yeah.
and you can do that with just anything.
It's true.
A Pokeball does have a number of practical uses.
You could reverse engineer the Pokeball and become a trillionaire.
Or just like if Pokeballs work the way they do in the show, and you can use them on people, then I also have a teleportation device because you could just put them into computers and send them to people.
Hey, that was last week's question.
So I think that's probably my top choice right now. I did briefly consider the Millennium Puzzle from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because then I could just have an alternate personality that's a pharaoh that just takes care of and wins all the games and stuff I play. I don't have to do anything. I can just be
There you go.
like,
His end goal is
It's
to
in the-
win all games.
it's in the heart of the dice! A natural 20 again! How
Jesus.
unpredictable!
That's good. That's good.
Also,
Yeah.
what did you say?
I said either the
think, Heart of
Omnitrix
the
from Ben
Dice-
10 or an Iron
yeah.
Man suit, the nanotech Iron Man suit.
I was about to say, I was like, I'd be shocked if you don't say some sort of Marvel-y answer in that.
Yeah.
But
It's not a lot of like items that give you powers, and like Captain America's shield would be cool, but it's like I don't have a lot of practical use for a shield. And
Thor's
Mjolnir I'm
hammer
not
does-
lifting, so
You could be
just
worthy.
have
You
to-
don't know.
You just
Yeah,
have to
it's
be
true.
like Falcon and just practice and practice until you become Captain
that's true,
America.
but I don't have like the willpower for that. And I don't really have a reason to practice. Like we don't have a lot of like super powered villains that I would be like fighting, so but maybe,
Yeah, but you would look
like
really
the rise of heroes means the rise of villains, so
Perhaps.
according to Vision at least.
Perhaps.
But
Well,
I love this music.
Apparently, we're listening to Medieval Christmas.
We can listen to whatever, but that was the vibe before we joined. So
Gotcha.
that I set. I created the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe that I told everybody that they were gonna have today.
Yeah. All right, I will jump into our map.
Bring it to the map.
Bring it to the map.
Chicka, 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 wow. Okay, who wants to? Somebody want to recap what
Actually,
happened last time, or you want me to do that?
Back to the people.
Oh, I can do that.
Oh, he can do that.
Let me
just
pull my
blinked?
notes real quick. Or our notes, I guess I should say.
I'm just
So,
I just heard a.
previously
Never
on
mind.
Beneath the Five Kings, Rustic Radiance, the Ogdenar of our nightmares, bit Elnat. But more importantly, we freed the Ogdenar farm of its curse, and it turned out it was a Devar boy named
Devar-
Alger Schmick, who
Say that again.
no, I can't say that again. A fey creature terrorizing the White Ogdenar Velvet Dreamer and the owner of the farm, Ektar
Reptar.
Smith.
Yeah, Reptar.
It turns out you can calm Alger Schmick with sweet dairy treats, getting rid of white things, and singing It's a Small World to her. Now our heroes move on to their next quest. Sports, pie, and kobold children.
Not necessarily in that order,
Probably
but
not.
probably in that order. Maybe in that order.
Kobold
I think
children,
that-
pie, and sports, right?
Yeah. So I think you guys are kind of at the end of day one here.
One day, 4 episodes. Oh yeah,
One
these people
day.
go to sleep.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's like getting towards the end of the day. I assume that you've all like eaten dinner somewhere. Is everyone going to go back to? I imagine like the people that live in High Helm like have their own homes, but does everyone want to stay like at the inn where you all met, like just for sake of like being close to the action, or what do you think your characters would want to do?
I
Yourselves in the mines.
I think Wakroon would go home because he didn't really start the day knowing what he was getting into. So I feel like not like technically, but like flavor's sake or thematically, he would gather all of the tools that he thinks he would need to continue on these journeys. So he'd probably go home and get a good night's rest in his own bed and offer a place to stay for any of the non dwellers, but he will note that he doesn't have a lot of space, but he does have a little bit of space.
I think Angoric would return to the temple and take his rest there amongst his fellow priests and priestesses. But it is known that the temple is open to all who are friends of the dwarves. So if those from out of town did not want to pay money to stay at the inn, they could potentially stay at the Temple of Fulgrit.
So in the event that there's no room at the inn, you could go to the church.
Yeah.
Or Wakroon's place.
Yeah.
Or the stables.
Or the stables.
Or the stables.
Are the stables free?
I think Elnet would similar, like not necessarily offer a temple, but like I know a guy who, has like a hotel or something. Like basically like a hotel. Be like, if you can go here, and give them my name, and be like my family, and they'll let you crash there for free or something like that. He wouldn't offer his own family's house. He's gonna go home to his family because he's got a huge family. So he's gonna
what
wanna
you're saying
see them.
Is Elnet is an inhospitable prick.
Kind of, yeah. And I mentioned this to Austin. Me, Justin, doesn't really like playing like this, but it's like, and this is, I don't mind saying this, but told Brendan, if I could describe Elnat in one word, it's entitled.
Mm,
He,
Alright.
He's kind of like that, and I don't like it, but I'm trying
It gives you
something new.
perspective.
Yeah, I'm trying something new.
Done something.
All right, so the locals are all going home. It sounds like. Is everybody else who's not from High Helm? Are you thinking about just going back to the inn where you all met for breakfast, or are you going to take one of these people up on their offers? Give you a place to stay.
Yeah, I listened to the two religious folk and politely refused their offers. They're kind offers, but I had already paid money for my rooms, and I have some of my stuff in my trunk up there, and it's nothing personal.
Said
But
trunk.
I'll be staying in the inn.
Size of Karu's trunk as they pop it.
It's got
Yeah.
wheels on it. He can just push it.
Yeah, it's nice.
He's got like a normal strength. What's your strength score?
That's kind of a personal question. This is the first.
Wouldn't you like to know, mother boy?
Let's ease off there a little bit.
I don't know if you had
But-
like a comparable strength score to your weight,
Please.
or.
To be
So
fair,
you'll
I
find
think
out.
when we originally, when you sent me Karu the first time, I think he was a tiny character.
Yeah.
So I think we were imagining him like the size of like a cat, like a very, very small. And I think he's actually small size now. So I think it's actually like more,
I'm like
more
two
like-
More
tall.
accurate.
yeah, more gnome sized. So he's a little bit larger.
He's a
But-
big stuffed animal.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
the
one
kind
league
of teddy
win.
bear. He's like a
One league.
medium-sized teddy bear that you have to get on Valentine's Day. Like you didn't plan ahead quite that far, but you didn't completely forget about it. So like, you get a medium-sized teddy bear.
Oh,
The-
interesting.
The beginning of the Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Josh, you just watched that.
Yep,
Yeah,
definitely.
Eddie Murphy, right?
2
Anyway,
minutes tops. 2 minutes tops.
20 minutes tops. I think that Orpheus is going to go to the stables, and he's actually like an emo horse boy, so
He's gonna sleep with
enjoy their
the
company.
Hell
sleep
yeah.
with the new horse or the new God, what are they called? Not
Fawn?
cave mules.
Ogdenars?
Ogdenars.
Ogdenars.
I wanted to say Angorix, but that is just your name with an S.
He really enjoys the company of the creatures. It brings him a lot of peace.
Word.
Word.
It brings peace and prosperity to our new empire.
Oh,
Hmm.
we take it over? Let's
Your
just take
new
over.
empire.
Let's just take over Five Kings Mountain.
Okay, what about
No?
our other character's name? Whose name is
Huang.
Is there
Huang?
any green space by the inn?
not as much green space underground as you might hope.
The temple has a stone garden.
Oh,
Is that like a
kind
beer
of
garden?
naturey.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
a
stoners.
It's rocks and lichen.
It's where they smoke the
Lately?
what's it? Flayleaf. thank
Flay
you.
leaf.
Yeah.
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 I guess, is there any likely spaces that I'll run into wildlife?
Want to
I
run into
mean-
wildlife.
Probably. I mean, you could definitely also go all the way to like the top level of High Helm. King's Crown has like exterior like farms and stuff on the outside of it, so you could go find another place to stay.
Lady
I'm
Karen.
making this argument, and Bao's like aggressively chattering behind me, and he wants to go back to the inn because the insects that he had there for the corners of the room were actually quite delectable, and he would rather go back. And so me and him start arguing back here about what option we'd like to do. So
Did you say insects or insects? Because
Mhm.
both would be applicable
Yes.
in this case, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just yes to that.
yeah.
Okay.
All
So
right,
one way or
Brendan,
another.
no one likes your inn. I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine. One way or another, you all find a way to get restful sleep,
Yep.
recover hit points, recover spells, recover focus points, all that jazz. And you find yourselves refreshed and ready for day 2.
I'd imagine that we would have said like, we should meet back in the inn the next morning, even if we're not staying there. We can all meet back at the inn where we started this adventure. Go from there.
You
Agreed.
certainly can.
Yeah.
There's a central meeting point. Everyone knows where
If
it's
anyone
at.
gets lost, raise your hand and walk back to the inn. And eventually we'll find you there. Use the intercom system.
Intercoms.
I assume they have, like, intercoms throughout the city, like electric. Get on a phone.
Like Hunger Games.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Things in the
Mhm.
sky.
There's just a bunch of tin cans with strings just
Really
Float about
long
the city.
strings. It's highly
Yeah.
illegal to touch them or tamper with them, similar to drilling into the mountain.
That's right.
Just messenger pigeons.
Messenger Ogdenar, maybe.
Well, I think we all go our separate ways to hit the hay. Some of us literally.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Are there new people here? Oh my god. There's new patrons?
Yeah. So if you all wake up early in the morning of the 27th, and kind of like the 27th of Serenith. Wake up and make your way back to the to Helgen's Inn. Again, it's well established inn. You can walk when you're walking in, like you can see the ruts where thousands of patrons, perhaps even more, have crossed in front of you. The inn's been operating continuously for like hundreds of years, I believe. It's a nice place though. They've definitely fixed it up inside. Epna is there. Yeah, you notice that like some of the regulars that you saw yesterday aren't here today. There's a couple of new folks. There's a dwarven man like biting into he's got a full dwarven breakfast in front of him. He's got sausage and mud pudding and a few other things.
Blood pudding.
blood pie.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is I think she's a halfling woman, I want to say, across the way, kind of like sitting up. She's got like a couple of stools stacked up so she can kind of sit on the table normally, but she's like sipping a stout tea that was prepared by Epna.
Sit.
And Goric would like to walk by Epna and give her the nod, which means, the usual order. And he's going to approach the halfling woman and say, "You're in my spot."
Fantastic.
You're in my spot. So mean. All right.
She is. Dumb
That's right.
halfling.
Where I always sit. I've come to this inn 5 days out of the week, every morning. I always sit in that chair.
That's right.
Look at that.
Right.
There's even a chair missing at that table because she used it to stack it up. Nice attention to detail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So you walk up to this halfling and you say, "You're in my spot," and she goes, "Oh no, I hadn't realized." She's like, "Well, I suppose I could ask barkeep, will you please clean another table off for me?" She said, "This brutish man wants to kick me out of my spot."
I say to her, "There's no reason to raise alarm. Just move to the chair over there." And I
Well,
step towards the other chair at the table.
So you notice that she's wearing like all white clothing. It's like very, very neatly pressed and clean. And she's just like, "Well, I couldn't, I wouldn't deign to touch a dirty spot. So I said, I asked Epna to specifically prepare this spot for me this morning when I came in."
I say to her, "Well, Epna knows better and knows that I should have been here this morning. I'll go speak with her."
Oh, okay. Well, for the time being, I'm going to stay here then and sip my tea.
Back over to the bar.
I yell over as Angoric walks by. Kind of shout over to him. Aye, just let the lady sit there. We won't be here long anyway. Just get your food at the bar and then we can be on our way.
Fine. Fight.
I don't want to fight him.
Trying to come
He'd
up with
clearly
a way
win.
to
He's a
walk-
much bigger foe than I
Get
am.
it to go box.
Let's
He
get it to
watches
go
this
box.
go down, and Orpheus is gonna be like, "Just leave it alone. It doesn't matter."
I say, no. That is my spot.
I jump him. I'm just kidding.
I picture Orpheus putting his hand on Angoric's chest when he says that.
Karu, take his mind.
Take his mind. What a request. On
No.
the second day, no less.
No, but
We'll
I
talk to that
walk
later.
through, lets it go, but you might say something along the lines of like, also like, we've that child to go look after. We don't have time to dilly-dally here. This was but a meeting place. If you wanted to eat, you should have gotten here before she did. And I look over, I'm like, sorry to bother you, miss. We'll be out of your hair soon. What was that? I didn't quite... Oh my god, she's having a
It's-
stroke. Save
No
her.
trouble at all.
Oh, she's...
No trouble at all.
She fixed it.
Hmm?
Aye. Well, it was trouble, but it's okay. He says under his breath.
I walk over to Epna and I say to her, because I've ignored all these guys, and say, "What is that woman's name?" And I gesture at the halfling.
NPC.
Small way.
Oh. Shalhaldry? She's one of them callistocrats, you know? Real particular.
Nope.
Mm. She's taken my spot.
I know the
Well,
aristocrats.
Well, their money's good, so I couldn't really turn down her request for spot. You know, it takes a lot to keep this place up and running. And I can never help but notice that you always buy whatever's on special. Now, church's coin's as good as any, but I just have to be honest. I have to cater to some of my more elite clientele.
Aristocrats.
Huang chimes in and just like,
Oh, fuck.
there's a simple answer to this. Angoric, show him your reservation for this seat.
A reservation. What do you mean reservation?
I would like Orpheus to then look over and go, "Is your name on that chair?"
I think she's talking about your axe, Angoric. Pull out your axe. It's your reservation.
It's your reservation.
So after all this conversation, the dwarf with these glasses that's sitting at the table is gonna like push his glasses back on his face, and he's like, "The name's Yulgar."
Aye, Jesus
dwarf.
Christ.
He's
No
like,
one asked.
he's like, "I'm a counselor, and you all look like you're in need of counseling. Take a seat at my table, and we can talk about what's really at the heart of the matter."
Aye, there are children missing and pies to be eaten. We don't have time for this bullshit. Let's go.
No, I say, no. Based off of all of our tragic backstories, he's right.
Aye.
Mhm.
And how does that
Wow.
make you feel, boy?
Orpheus first.
A counselor sees conflict like a priest sees demons. They're all in on it. I don't trust none of it.
Demons. You
That's
think
a
I
really
see
good
demons?
quote.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Thanks.
Thanks, I said it.
Okay, so now you know that Shalhadri is a callistocrat. She's a merchant. She's a halfling that frequents the this inn. And Yulgar is a dwarven counselor apparently who thinks that you're all in need of some counseling. But yeah, I mean, if you are all have business to take care of, you definitely don't have to stay at the inn for any longer than you want to.
We're kind of like on a there's like a missing person, right? Like, that we're
true.
delaying for.
Yeah.
What was the person's name that we're looking for? Do we know? What was the info we had on that? Let's see.
Your
Kobold?
call.
I don't
Oh.
think we learned the little kobolds.
Young Kobold tried to do the Black Noon Gauntlet. Hasn't been seen in days. Okay. Then
Guess we didn't
Walkroon
get their name.
would like while he's waiting for like Epna's making the food or whatever, or getting the drinks. He's talking to her and like, Epna, you wouldn't happen to know anything about this young kobold that tried to do the Black Noon Gauntlet? Hasn't been seen in a few days. I think me and the rest of us are going to make that one of our stories, if you know what I mean, and see if we can't find this youngling. We were able to solve the old mystery of the Ogdenar farm, and a couple of us made it onto the team. I can't remember the name of that sport. Don't tell me though. I will remember in a second. Basilisk, the Basilisk team.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And we even had to fight a giant crab. But I think saving this youngling seems like it's a pretty high priority. Has anybody come through talking about it?
Yeah, I think Epna is used to having adventurers and mercenaries and the like come through and tell all about all of their stories. So I think she tunes you out somewhere around Basilisk game when you couldn't remember the name of the sport. And then you come back, you ask her a question there at the end, and she kind of like, terribly sorry. No, I don't think I've heard anything about it.
Heard anything about what?
The
What did I ask about again?
The kid missing.
Kobold?
Yes, the young kobold, the Black Noon Gauntlet. You haven't heard anything.
Yes, no,
It
I
just
don't,
seemed like maybe there for a second you weren't listening, so I just wanted to make sure that you heard what I said.
Yeah, I really don't have time to keep track of all of the things I hear during the day. It's busy work running this place.
Aye, alright, that's fine.
Is it?
My biscuits
Is
and
it
gravy,
fine?
please. Yeah.
You don't need to explain to me if it's fine or not.
Aye, what is happening?
She climbs over the table and starts strangling you.
Jesus Christ, woman.
Sense motive.
Insight check, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but she seems a little distracted maybe, but yeah, she's working on all of your breakfasts, and she brings out all the plates. Everybody gets what they ordered, and then she goes back behind in the back room. She's busying herself working on something.
And Gork goes and sits at the spot that he is shown at in the map right now, and is just kind of firmly places his simple breakfast, which is just like some toast and some jam and a water, on the other seat at the table, and looks at Shahaldry.
And in the background, we hear the music change to "She likes bread and butter, and he likes toast and jam." All right, no. Okay, so yeah, so you sit down and kind of like aggressively start eating next to her, and like if any like, any crumbs or anything fall off your plate or anything like that, she just scoots a little bit farther away. She takes the whole, her whole plate, and then like gets off her chair and like scoots both chairs over, and then like sits back up on them. So she ends up like over here.
And then Gorik ends up back in his spot because he won.
I really wish you wouldn't do that.
My apologies.
My father will hear about this.
Well, you know what? My father will hear about this.
Well, who's your father?
God.
My father is High
God.
Priest. Let me look up his name real fast.
Let me look up my father's name.
High Priest.
Well, and Gork does that. I'm picturing Elnat looking up his dad's net worth.
Just like makes a note of look up this name later.
High Priest Eridor is my father. Who's yours?
I don't think I should give that information out to strangers. I wouldn't want to be robbed by a creature as uncouth as you.
And Gork throws his hands in the air. Why did you ask me who my father was?
But you didn't have to answer. I was making polite conversation.
I was just being fair to a stranger and answering your question. And my father is not an orc like me. And he obviously takes offense to
Yeah, the orc question. Orc jab.
the orc-based insults that he's been receiving.
It's just why it's getting hot in here. I think I might. And she passes out onto the floor.
Ah,
moved
Jesus Christ! I
Vector
knew we should
and
have
he
left.
cast- Would assume is like a reflex save or something.
Sure.
Brendan, would I know High Priest Eridor? Would I know him
Yeah,
in my working?
I would imagine that most people do. There are multiple faiths that operate out of the church. I think it's called like the Hammer of the 12 or something like that. But High Priest Eridor Orindus is leader of the priests of Folgrit.
I rolled a 17 on my reflex save, Mr.
Okay,
Dan.
so she topples from her lofty perch. You're there with both chairs kind of propped up against each other, and you kind of like manage to catch her. And she still falls to the floor, but you kind of like set her down gently and like are kind of holding her.
I would like to cast Stabilize. just
Okay.
because- not because it will actually do anything for her, but as like
Flavor
sort of
flavor cast.
Okay.
Yeah, I hold my symbol of Fulgrit and I whisper a short prayer of Blessed Mother, protect us. Blessed Mother, save us. Blessed Mother, please revive this woman. And I'm a little bit worried as I do so because I feel responsible for having caused this.
Her eyes kind of flutter open, and you see like her cheeks flush like bright red. And she goes, "Oh my heavens!" She goes, "Unhand me, you." And then she doesn't have the heart to go through with it, and she just kind of like stays where she is, kind of cradled in your arms.
Did Josh
His
just
wife.
Josh just check with Lorna. You're really flirting with Brendan.
Sure want to push this.
ERP.
And Goric says, "It's quite all right, ma'am. Would you like me to help you up?"
He goes, no, it's all right. I know you're asking me to unhand you, but it's okay.
Well,
No,
no.
please.
She couldn't follow through with it, and she's just
Mhm.
embarrassed.
Yeah. So now she kind of daintily like holds up
Oh.
one gloved hand.
And I gently help her up.
Do you have dirty hands? You're like staining her dress.
her white glove comes back completely black, and she's just like,
The
Oh.
green skin is not a dye; it's just
Yeah.
green.
He's in the Broadway production of Wicked.
I'm playing the Wicked Witch of the West. But no, I gently help her up and return
Good.
her to her feet.
Yeah, so she goes back to her seat, and she says, "I don't know if we've met properly. My name is Shalhadri. What is yours?"
That properly while you harassed me.
My name is Angoric, and as you've heard, my father is Eridor, High Priest of Fulgrit.
So, I would imagine then that you were raised with a great deal of manners under the Mother of Mercy.
Yes, some would say so, but as my father reminds me, my orcish ways sometimes take over, and I have to concentrate to contain myself, and I kind of put my hands together and like take a deep breath.
She says, "Well, I guess everyone has a beast inside sometimes."
Jesus Christ. I knew it was coming.
Kid.
But at this time, Wakaroon has walked out. He's gotten his food and drink and has left.
But before you do, Elnut kind of leans over. This guy must get all the ladies.
Aye, especially the
Orpheus is sitting there,
halfling ones.
deadpan, staring at this interaction. And the look on his face basically lets everybody know how ridiculous he thinks this whole thing is.
Is that Orpheus or Lorna?
Both.
I forgot what the original
Sometimes they
dialogue
align.
was now at this point that she said. We all have a beast inside us.
We
Uh-huh.
all have a beast inside us.
And Goric looks down at her and says, "That we do. That we do."
That kills her.
She says, "Well, I hope I didn't cause you too much trouble by taking your preferred seat this morning. I too have a preferred seat often in these types of establishments, and so I guess you could say that's something that we have in common."
Yeah,
She's
That
like,
and the beast inside us.
that is true. Maybe we can sit at the same table again sometime and actually get to know each other.
she's,
As long as it's Angoric's table.
"I would like that very much."
You can have my spot any day, ma'am.
Character development.
Woo!
Woo!
All right.
All right.
I want
Does
more
anybody else have
ERP
anything they
between
want?
Brendan and
Does-
Josh.
Does anybody else have anything they want to accomplish at this inn here?
I don't feel like I accomplished anything.
You like the camera pans to Bao, who's like so overwhelmingly stuffed, has been eating bugs off the floor this entire time. It looks like he's about to throw up.
He found his stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Wakaru just was
Um,
here for food and meeting up with everyone, so he's ready to go outside. Personally.
And Kaworu's just checking in with Yolgar, the dwarf that's eating. What did you say? It was a counselor.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just show him a rough sketching of a young monkey, asking if he's seen him.
And he kind of like, first he's like, "Oh fuck," and then he's like, then he adjusts his spectacles and he's like,
Mhm.
"I guess I don't need these checked." And he like kind of like leans down to Karu and then gently like takes like the portrait, and he says, "I'll be honest, lad. Yours is the first face like this I've seen around these parts. I haven't hit word, but I wish you the best of luck in your travels." He's like, "We're all searching for something, and if you need someone to talk to about it, just remember, I'm here." And he hands you like a business card. Like he's got like a.
Yeah. And I just I solemnly just nod my head, take his card politely with two hands, as you're supposed to do, and I return to my compatriots.
Right.
Cool.
So we
Hell yeah.
learned a few things, and then we're is the plan then to try and track down some leads for this Black Noon Gauntlet? I think you had.
Where did we
Yeah,
originally hear about that? I don't recall now.
We heard
Is
about
Was
it.
that the
Yeah,
Ogdenar
I think-
rancher who mentioned that, or
Don't
who was that?
think so. Let me look, see where it popped up in our notes.
I think that was when Orpheus was doing some checks. I think you met with somebody who had like a little cart, a little Ogdenar drawn cart, and they were just talking about like they heard somebody down in the depths. I think was looking for.
Young
I
Kobold.
think it was down in the depths. Yeah, it was looking for a young kobold.
I think we've actually heard it twice too, because I thought we heard it before we did Trigellen with Lady Shimmersnip, and then after we dealt with Lady Shimmersnip, we heard about it too. So the second time was at least on the lowest level, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. Do you have a name of someone you're supposed to meet down there?
I don't think so. I think we just know that there are people on the lower levels looking for him, and we know that the Black Noon Gauntlet is the Thieves Guild that operates under the same name. So like, I
'Cause
think
it's
the
dark.
idea is probably just to go down there, find a sketchier area, and start asking around. And I imagine we will find the info that we need fairly quickly.
Or at the very least, get our asses beat.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, you're probably right.
So everybody gathers, as we
Let's
say.
gather around the
Adventurers
campfire.
gather. And then we go. You head down to the depths because right now you're, I think all the way up on.
Before we leave Helgren's Inn, Angoric would make a turn to Shalandir and say, goodbye, my fair lady, and offer up a hand to her that's like the size of her torso, but
Well,
And she's going to
Put
give
the
you
finger of- oh.
no her a lace handkerchief and say, "Good priest, take this favor as a token of my gratitude."
he takes it, and like that scene from Shrek, he uses it to wipe the like little bit of crumbs that he has on his tusks, and then puts it into his pocket and says, "My lady, I shall forever use it to keep myself clean, as I know you would want." And he walks out of the inn.
I want Orpheus to walk by Angoric and just give him a light smack on the back of the head and just keep walking past him after watching this whole stupid thing go down.
I want
Hey,
to see
I
a
don't know.
highlight montage of Angoric washing himself with like a small handkerchief as like a huge creature, just like it not working very well.
Crocheted square.
Yeah, it's just like not working and it's getting really dirty. Yeah, that's what I want. Sick.
Hey.
I'm into it.
Love appears in the most unlikely of places.
One decent question to ask before we continue on, and maybe I should have asked this before we went to sleep last night. Like buying stuff.
Too late now.
Like we're like in a big city and about to start a new day's worth of missions, so I didn't think of anything in particular that I thought Wakroon would want or need or buy, but I feel like it's worth mentioning that like we have made a little bit of coin, so there are potential things that we could be buying and or getting, just as a note. There.
More interested in exploring the shops of Helm once we've accumulated a bit more gold. Right now we've only really got like 6 extra.
We got
pieces between
4
all of them.
gold pieces.
Well,
Last thing.
quick question. After kind of having some combat and knowing what I'm missing, I would like to get a better range weapon like a short bow. Brendan, could we say that I maybe have one at home, but I'll just like deduct it from my coins, like as if I'd had it from the start?
Yeah, no. If you wanna
Okay.
equip a short bow, you could definitely do that. I mean,
Okay.
if you want to stop somewhere and pick up a new short bow, like that's fine too.
Okay, cool.
We don't
That
have
works.
to like role play it out in great tedious effort.
Okay,
But yeah,
cool.
you can get a short bow and some arrows and.
Yeah, I would like to do that just because so far I've only had like javelins, and those aren't super effective. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely the advent of the longbow and the crossbow, really changed the game for ranged combat. Really moved away from the spears that you could throw at things.
Or
But
javelins.
Yep. Or javelins. But
Oh, man,
anyways,
that soprano like singing spear that I had in Starfinder. I
that
love
was
that thing
sick.
so much.
That was
It
dope.
was
there's
awesome.
like a whole set of weapons that go along with it too. Like you can get like chakras and stuff like that are the same style. Like they make sonic like blades basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very cool.
Or like a tuning fork that's like a bludgeoning weapon.
Mhm.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I will plan on in
But,
between sessions going through and looking at items and stuff and talking about it just as we accumulate gold and continue to just be in a giant city with lots of shops and stuff. And
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I
the
know-
opportunity is definitely there. Just feel free to, if you guys want to purchase anything in between sessions, just feel free to shoot me a message and we can figure it out.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Or if you guys, stumble upon a giant pile of gold and want to do that for the rest of the session, we could do that.
Sick.
Ooh,
Okay.
let's go rob a bank.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's rob a base and then take over the mountain.
There almost
famous.
certainly is. I'm sure there's like a bank or something on one of these maps. Ooh, there is Lucky Larry's Bar and Gambling Hall. That sounds like a good place to start.
Ooh, all in red.
Lucky Larry's.
I want to double my money over and over and over until I can just buy the craziest items.
There you go. Oh, the Mercantile. Yeah, that's probably financial establishment of some kind. But anyways, so you all are headed down to the lowest level. Is anybody doing anything in particular? This is kind of when you guys are kind of free roaming like this is when you could, if you want to search for more information, you can. If you feel like you guys have a pretty good handle on what you want to do next, you don't have to. If there's anything that you can do that
On
takes.
on the third level down, I think when we get low enough, Walkroon would maybe start asking about the missing person, just to see if anyone on the second, the missing kobold, just to see if anyone has any ideas. But not until we're like almost to the bottom, but maybe not quite to the bottom. Just like anybody that maybe looks a little bit more like that's kind of standing in the dark alleys or anything, just mention the contest and see if they have any ideas. So I can roll a diplomacy for that, right? Isn't that what we're doing to gather information?
Yep.
Okay. I'm actually gonna roll this die.
I would do
Natural
something
1.
whenever I get.
I punch him in the face.
Oh gosh.
Jesus fuck.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So while Kroon is not doing a good job of getting information from
hasn't
people,
yet.
He has a big old booger hanging out from his nose while he's talking to them, and
I think you scare them all away. You go down there and there's just nobody on the lower level.
No, I'm on the third level, the second to lowest level. I scare everyone away there.
And Goric knows that as we go to the lower levels, people become less and less familiar with why there's this big, huge, hulking orc walking around. But he would like to try to listen in for information and maybe approach some people to figure out more details around this missing kobold. And he wants his, chain of Fulgrit to be quite prominent, so people know that he's a man of the cloth, as it were.
Let's see.
Like your dainty cloth you got, right?
Man of the dainty cloth, yes.
A clistic.
No, that is
okay.
special.
That's fair.
So do you want to try a diplomacy to gather information, or do you want to try a perception to see if you hear or notice anything?
Did you say diplomacy and gather information?
Mm-hmm.
Or a perception?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with a diplomacy, because I'm trained in it. That's a 12 total.
Okay. So you're all kind of asking around. While Kroon's getting stonewalled, I think maybe Angoric gets a little bit farther. He finds a few people. There's like, there was a person, asking around about him, about some kobold. If anybody'd seen him, I haven't seen anything of the sort. But they were wearing a cloak and they took off so quickly I couldn't catch their name. It's like, but yeah, definitely, so they kind of, maybe you get some vague directions and you kind of get turned around, and the depths map, if everybody's on that page, is sideways.
It is.
Kind of unfortunate. So I think you eventually get to like, kind of like some of the more like tunnel-y area. So there's a lot of different interconnecting tunnels over here, in the burrows that kind of is like, and it's kind of a very like, it's the low income, housing in the outskirts of town, the people that don't like to be disturbed and that type of thing. So most people probably scatter if you bring like a torch down here and kind of like look them over and something. And then I think Angoric is going to hear a voice kind of like, probably like at his like midsection, and he's going to feel something poking into his back, and he's going to hear a voice that says, "Why are you looking for a kobold?"
Does Angoric recognize the voice?
No.
Okay.
Does anybody else see this happening, or is Angoric kind of off
Yeah,
by
so
himself a little bit?
I would imagine he was asking around, and you guys are all kind of like spread out a little bit,
Okay.
and you kind of like turn back, and like the only thing you can see is that there's like a very short, like cloaked figure standing really, really close to behind Angoric.
Is it a male or female voice?
It seems kind of disguised. Like they were you couldn't really tell
A little bit in between.
one way or the other.
Well, okay.
A little squeaky, maybe.
Gender's fluid, so it doesn't matter. Sir, madame, or somewhere in between, we have been tasked with finding this kobold. We hear that there are a number of people very worried about him.
Who are you?
My friends and I gesture, not as to arouse attention, but
Yeah.
to those around.
If you gesture, if we see that, I think Walkroon would start walking that way at the very least. I don't know how far away you are, but not quickly.
Without directly pointing at any of them, because I don't want to draw her attention directly to
Right.
them. Like, my friends and I, of which there are many, are trying to find him. Not for any sort of nefarious purpose, but because we were told that they were in trouble, and we're just altruistic people with purely the best intentions for High Helm.
Okay.
and
I
denizens.
think this person is going to give you a light, kind of shove on the back, and then kind of point in a direction. There's like a dark tunnel that kind of leads off into another section of the city.
Like a secret tunnel?
Yeah, like a secret tunnel.
tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
But
Boulder.
want to find out more? That way, now.
I start walking that way and hope that others have seen me from our esteemed party.
Which secret tunnel is it on this map, Brendan?
I don't know if it's a specific one.
Very
but,
specifically. This
yeah.
one right here, right?
So
whenever, just to make sure I'm
Oh,
understanding.
that is the gauntlet.
Angoric, you weren't trying to be discreet with the waving around thing, right? So like, we
I wasn't
should have
trying
probably
to be
seen.
discreet in the sense that you guys wouldn't see, but not that I was pointing directly at you and being like, "This person's with me and this
Okay.
person's with
Cool.
me."
yeah. So I think it's not too much trouble for anyone else to have noticed what's going on. So you guys kind of all see Angoric being led away by this figure.
Yeah, Walkroon would be like, "Hey, I think we should follow him. It seems like someone might have found us." It's funny that tunnel I pointed at is called the Gauntlet, so I imagine that actually is potentially related to the Black Noon Gauntlet somehow. That northern tunnel.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, so we're following. I don't know. I guess is there some sort of check to see if we get the vibe that we should be following, or should we the worst missions in video games, have to keep our distance and follow the person without them noticing type of thing? Like, don't get too close.
You notice almost immediately that there's like a circular bar above this person's head, and it starts turning yellow when you get closer.
Okay, and we crouch and it goes down. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. No. Actually, I would say that would be up to your best judgment. If you think Walkroon would be like,
let's see,
"Hey,
what would
what are
Walkroon
you
do?
doing?" Or you think he would just be like, he would slowly creep up behind him, or and all of you can say what you're doing. Doesn't necessarily have to be all on Austin and his character.
Walkroon would follow. He's not gonna run to catch up, but he's also not going to be sneaky. Like if the person turns around, they would clearly see him, but he's gonna not act like he belongs type of thing. He's just going to match their pace at a distance and follow them through the tunnel like he belongs.
And Goric is going to try to make small talk with this person by talking about how he's made many a mission trip down to the depths, and helped to build housing and safe wells for the people to use, and how we may have met previously. And during all this, he's going to try to place the voice if the other voice talks to him.
Make a perception check.
Percep?
With my huge die, courtesy of Austin,
Woo!
I'm showing the 7, and now I'm showing the 1.
Look at that thick die.
Yeah.
Black and
boulder.
green.
The
Lit.
Boulder approves.
Oh wow!
That means
Did you guys hear the thunk?
That's a hole in the
Yeah.
wall.
But that is a 25. So
Let's go
Oh,
the
yeah.
boulder.
Those dice
All
are
right.
super heavy.
So I think, and Goric, like you said, you gave a couple reasons that you've been down here before. This person's voice, every once in a while she slips up a little bit and kind of it's very clearly a mouse-like voice that she's trying very hard to like disguise as like a person's voice, but then I think a name pops into your head. You remember a young urchin, a young ratfolk urchin by the name of Usa.
Pusa? Like you're being
How do you spell
Usa.
that?
you're being
Usa.
real pusa.
USSA.
USAA.
Usa, not pusa. No P in that. Got it.
You're gonna regret this real sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Misa
I
don't know
say-
that.
I regret it already.
I say, Usa, is that you?
All right, and I think at this point,
Shit.
the charade is over a little bit, and she says,
Fuck. Nope. Crispoff, por favor. Didn't catch any of that.
"Fair enough." Did you get any of that? No.
Yeah.
We
Kind of.
heard it.
It's far enough. I think.
This is far enough.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
And so she pulls down the hood, and reveals herself. So we'll go to let's see.
It's
a
the
travel
map.
location,
It's the
maybe?
map.
Or-
It's the map. It's the map. It's the
hand-
map.
Handouts would be good.
Jump to our characters. Reminder of whatever
Let's
the
see.
list. It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. It's the map.
Handouts is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in Discord. Sorry, I have full screened on Discord. Oh no, it's not. Okay, we're good.
Okay. So yeah, you're gonna see this this cloaked rat folk who's very, very small. And she turns around. She's like, "This is far enough." She says, I appreciate you offering to help out my friend. His name is Fazil. He fancies himself as a kind of sneak thief. He's got a pretty good noggin on him and a good heart. But he thought that joining the Black Noon would be his ticket out of here. We all tried to convince him otherwise, but he was so dead set on this course of action. I only hope that we're not too late. I assume he's entered the gauntlet, which is not a good choice. He hasn't been heard from in a couple of days.
Tarika, is that you?
No.
Usa.
Oh, fuck. She sees. Let's see the rest of you coming out behind her. Oh, fuck.
I take out my star knife and look Elnat in the eyes and then throw it at the back of the rat's head.
And
Okay.
then
Usa,
slowly
no!
plots to do that.
Slippy, no! All right. And Gork, you're talking to Usa. What do you want to say?
Usa.
Usa.
Usa, slow down.
Usa.
You're going too fast here. The gauntlet? Where's that?
Well, it's not far. It's actually quite well known around here. I would have thought you would have known that since you've been down here before. But she says, I can lead you there, but I can't go in. I don't trust myself enough to be able to get back out.
I
Do
think
you have friends who can help you? I think this is a job for more than one person.
He has
I
friends.
let out a light whistle and use that as a sign that the others should, appear.
Okay.
Walkroot hears the whistle and assumes combat and has his hatchet drawn and his chalice
I
in
was
his
gonna
hand.
say, they slowly emerge from the darkness with chains in their hands, like and swords out and shields raised.
Flaming chains, though, like the most like.
Usa,
Like a brass
Usa,
knuckles.
You should have been more careful. Now the tables have turned.
Brass knuckles on a poppet. That's incredible.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
But actually,
Legitness.
I say, well, I'm not quite familiar with the gauntlet. I mean, the Thieves Guild tries to stay out of sight of the clerics of my faith.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes. But you said your friend's name was Fazil?
Fazil.
Like
Fazil.
Brazil.
It's
with an
kind of-
F.
I
Yes, it's
promise
kind.
you, Usa, if there is anything we can do for him, we will rescue him from the Black Noon gauntlets and bring him back to safety. And perhaps we can find a place for you both on the higher levels. You seem to have a handle on yourself, and I'm sure that there's those that could use your services.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'd be able to contribute. Fazil got this big idea in his head. The Black Noon, they'll allow anyone to try the gauntlet for a coin and a chance at joining the guild. But you're on your own once you go in there. They won't lift a finger to save you if you fail. I think if he were able to complete the gauntlet, he'd be home already. He's not getting out of there without more help.
I'm not going to cause any problems by going in and helping him. I don't want to rile an entire guild up. We're okay to go in and rescue him, right?
The only way that you can join the guild is if you can find a Black Noon coin inside the maze. She says, but people try all the time and chicken out before they get too far in. That's why I'm so worried. Fazil, well, he really thought this was his last chance. He thought it was this or, we're pretty much out of cash. But so we don't have much, but there are people around here that like Fazil. I could go around and collect what we have, and I could try and pay you as long as you can bring him back alive. To just find him and talk him out of joining the guild and bring him back. It doesn't matter if you complete the gauntlet.
And Gork takes the knee and takes what I would assume is her little nervous hand in his hands and cups them and says, Usa, that will not be necessary, and takes 10 silver pieces out of his coin purse and hands them to her and says, Usa, you may not let others know that you're not, close with, that you've received this, but please use this to better your life.
You really tried this.
So
Usa, just to be clear, this will cost you at least 10 silver pieces if you want my help. So
she can't hear you, and she looks deeply into Angoric's green eyes.
Into the handkerchief. We all have a beast instead of us.
Just, no one's ever been so willing to help me like this before. I don't have anything to offer you. She says, I will be forever in your debt.
Oh.
Brave priest.
I say,
You're so big and
I say, the mother may have mercy on us all. And stand back up.
She kind of shrugs. She's like, why'd you have to go and bring your mother into this? I mean, really ruined the moment.
Yeah. Oh, mood killer.
So,
Was your mother a human too, or was she orc?
I look back at Wakroon and just kind of shake my head.
Wakroon, you can't just ask about people's parents like that.
I suppose. I just earlier finding out his dad was a priest human was quite the shock, if I have to be honest. I just assumed his father was an orc. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but let's go run this gauntlet. Find some coins for this small rat.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to ask, Usa?
I go.
Can she be more specific around when Fazil went to the gauntlet? Like, how long has he been in there? Because days.
Well, he spoke to me. We chatted about this, and I tried to convince him not to. That was, we were having dinner about 3 nights ago. It's like, but I think he went home and rested. So he's probably been in the gauntlet for about 2 days by himself. I'm hoping he had enough food for at least a couple of days, but he won't last in there forever. He's a dear friend of mine. You'll recognize him right away. He's got green and silver scales, a bit of a nose horn. He's about this tall, and she indicates like about 3 feet tall, just a hair taller than she is. Answers to Fazil. Can't miss him.
3 feet tall.
Oh, you mentioned a coin that was needed to be found to complete the challenge. Is it just a normal coin, or which do we be looking for specifically?
Good question.
Macaroon.
Yes,
Macaroon?
So rude. Why are you asking?
about the coin that we need to do to complete the gauntlet. My apologies. I thought asking about Angoric's weird parentage was the weird thing, but I figured the coins were were okay to ask
On the
about.
level.
Yeah, my apologies. Don't tell me about your coin or the coin to complete the mission, miss. I appreciate it.
No, I do
just-
think that is a good question, though.
I know.
I-
He says,
It's
It's-
a black moon coin.
Aye, but what the fuck is that?
It's
Well.
black, and it has a moon on it.
Aye, that seems like the obvious answer, but I just wanted to make sure.
it's Black Noon.
Ah, Black Noon
Like
Gauntlet!
the time. Yes,
Ah,
exactly.
But Black like there might be a moon at Black Noon. Oh no, it's Black Noon is the time of noon because the mountain and the mirrors and the light. I recall. I've lived
Yes,
here
yes,
my whole
yes.
life. Yes.
So I've never seen one myself. And those
Black
those
Noon.
the coins.
Oh, okay.
She says because obviously those who have them try to keep them pretty close to the vest. But I've heard that it's got an image of the Black Noon on it. It's a half bronze and half gold coin.
Hey.
It's kind of got a stamped emblem on it to represent the Black Noon and the guild. And supposedly they're all the way in the middle of the maze. You can't find them on the outskirts. You've got to prove yourself by getting past a bevy of traps and obstacles, and it's dangerous, very dangerous.
Aye. My next question was going to ask you where the coins are, and it was going to be funny because that's part of the secret. But then you just went on ahead and told me, and so
Yeah.
now I got nothing. I appreciate it.
If they were on the outskirts, then everyone could get them. These
Unless the
The gauntlet-
outskirts were guarded by rock trolls, then it might be more difficult.
it's the gauntlets used to be mining tunnels, but then the Thieves Guild claimed them and kind of converted them into this nasty maze of sorts. I've heard it's got traps and secret passageways, and maybe some monsters that you're better off avoiding. But I've never been in there myself.
Do you
So,
know?
I would pack lights if you can't see in the dark, and maybe some snacks in case you get stuck in there for a while.
I appreciate that. You wouldn't happen to know of anyone that is more personable that has actually completed the gauntlet, would you? Some advice directly from the source might not be a terrible idea either. I know everyone that's
Personable?
part of the. Well, I have to imagine that most from the Thieves Guild
Oh.
don't want to be spoken to. Not to say you're not personal, you've been great, but you also haven't completed it. So everything that you're giving us is just hearsay. So I figure some info straight from a source might be good too.
Yeah, no, those that complete the gauntlet usually go on to become members of the Black Noon Thieves Guild, and then we don't ever hear from them again. So I don't know anybody that's gone through the gauntlet and
Okay.
come back and still wanted to hang out with us down here.
I mean, I wouldn't want to. All right.
Fair.
I appreciate it.
Is there a chance that Fazil completed the gauntlet and just
Ignored
is not
you.
returned as he doesn't want to hang out with you anymore?
That's a good
he
point.
put it?
He just
Oh.
left you.
Oh no,
I think that's what happened.
Fazil and I have been best friends since
Hey.
as far as we can remember. We stayed together and watched each other's backs, and he would definitely come back and find me. And
Sure.
the idea was for him to make enough money join the guild that we could both get out of here. He was doing it mostly for me, and that's why you have to talk him out of it. You have to talk him out of it. We'll find another way.
Hey. We'll help him complete it. Yeah.
No, talk him out of it.
Hey.
It's
But
too
there are-
dangerous.
There are a lot of us. We have a very wide variety of skills. I have a chalice that you can drink from that makes you feel better. I think we can do it.
What?
Yeah,
Oh.
mead chalice. Yeah, you can get those at every corner store.
Sure, Betty, that's what they said.
Mhm.
It's some sort
I
of
say,
mead.
Usa,
pretty good meat.
Usa. Usa.
Yes.
Are you done?
I am sorry.
I think perhaps our good friend Elnat has something to say to you.
Be funny if he just didn't.
Nah. Way to just put me on the spot.
I thought you were saying something.
No.
Your face in Discord lit up, so I was like, oh.
Oh, it was probably the chair squeaking. I have a very squeaky chair.
Well,
That's
that was
incredible.
unfortunate. We can edit that out later.
That's what
Yeah, edit that in post.
says, is the chair squeaking. 'Cause he
If my
like-
camera's working right now, I kill Percy.
I gesture to where I think Elnat is at, and all that is there is a chair squeaking in the wind, and I'm like, here we go.
She's like,
Who would've
honestly,
thought-
I have no
Can't
idea
believe
which one
it.
of you is Elnat. So if any of you were to speak, I would just assume.
Maybe that chair is Elnat. You don't know.
Maybe. Okay. Well, I can show you where it is, where it starts, but then you're on your own. Are you ready? Do you want to go there now?
Hi, we're ready, kids.
I think so.
Aye,
Yeah.
Captain.
Usa.
Aye, aye.
She kind of like looks into the middle distance and she goes, backpack, backpack.
Alright.
Backpack.
I think when we're on our way there, we should talk about some planning things. Are any of us notable cartographers so that we can map?
No.
What skill would that be linked to?
I was gonna, like, if
What do
it's
you think?
survival, I have a +4.
Cartographer.
I have a I have a +4 to survival, but I have a bonus when we're in caves,
Okay.
like terrain expertise, being like underground even. I have a +1 to that, and part of
Nice.
survival is to track or cover tracks. So I feel like that's potentially related. The good old fashioned, if you're in a maze, only make right or left turns and you'll eventually get through it, is an accurate strat that Austin knows that hopefully Wakrun could know as well. And I mean, I have cave lore as well, which I assume would be of help in something. I guess another big question that they already mentioned is, does everyone have dark vision or some form of light?
That's what I was
Yes.
gonna ask. Was it? My
Yeah.
guess was everyone has dark vision, but
Do we all? I mean, none of us are human, so.
I have dark vision myself, so
I do
which
too.
is
I have light.
in black and white, which is cool.
I'm a deep orc is my heritage, which is something that
Sweet.
you guys will be able to recognize by looking at me. So I don't think it's all that strange for me to tell you that.
And Lorna's literally from the Shadow Realm, so.
Yeah.
Ironically, doesn't have dark vision though.
No, I've played a Kyle before. They got dark vision. At least in the far future, they do.
At least in the far future.
Things might have changed.
Anyways, I don't think light is of a concern.
Okay.
That's good.
Um,
But yeah,
Now
I mean, it
construct.
was a good
Oh.
thing to at least check on.
Do you guys have rations?
I don't
got a couple of
actually
rations.
have rations. I've got a water skin, but I don't
That's
specifically
2 days worth of
have
that.
ration. I guess that's a good question in general for this campaign. Are we being ration conscious? Like, should we go ahead and grab rations? I know it was
So I
kind of
would
like
say-
up to the
Handy.
scenario.
Just
Yeah,
having
so I
a
would-
bolt.
Yeah, I would say like normally I'm not too worried about it. Like you guys are in town, so like if you want to stop and get a bite to eat, you could get a bite to eat. I would say that like if you're concerned about being in the Black Noon Gauntlet for 5 days, maybe bring extra food with you.
Okay.
But how likely
I-
is that to happen? Really?
I assume something like that is easy to just get. I can just add rations, right?
Yeah. And I think you probably all got like some. If you bought like the standard kits, you probably came
Yeah.
with like 3 or 4 days worth.
I
So if
got
you're not worried
two
about it beyond
with
that.
mine, so
Doesn't say I do. Chalk, rope, torch, water skin, soap, flint and steel, bedroll. It's under your guys' gear, right?
yeah, mine
Mhm.
was for my class.
Yeah, I mean, I
Don't
got
know if
one for my
that's-
class too, I thought. I don't see it under
Yeah, we-
consume. I guess I can go to all. Oh, I can probably just type in the word ration.
Yeah. Little fun fact about poppets: they're constructs, so they don't need to eat or drink.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, I am
Alright.
going to buy One set of
And
rations.
Sarah, you did say you had a way to be able to see in the dark. You have
Yes,
low
I've
light
got
vision.
both low light vision and I've got light.
Okay,
Nice.
Cool.
so that's good.
Yeah. Is there anything else
So-
we want to talk about before we go in here, or before, like, kind of on our way walking over? Anything else? Anything else?
Probably
Jesus.
party order and who will be looking for traps for us, which I think the best person for that's probably Orpheus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I mean, maybe we wait till we get in, but I assume we're going to be in some, like, the what's it? Not the adventuring mode, or what's it called, Brendan? Exploration.
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 Like, pick what we want to do. Is there a cheat sheet somewhere for all the different things that we can be doing in exploration mode? If we go to that mode, I guess. I know there was.
Probably somewhere.
I will find one.
Yeah, and the big thing, I mean, this is like the gauntlet is more of like a series of skill challenges type
I
thing.
assumed
you'll-
so, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you'll have an idea of what you need to do.
put it
So
in the chat.
basically, she takes you to, and I think you're right. I think it is on the map, on the page, like where it says gauntlet, like it's like a really dark series of like narrow tunnels and
Number
stuff
2.
there. I think that's that is the Black Noon Gauntlet. So she kind of like takes you that way and kind of like leads you like to a set of like ancient looking like stone steps that just look like they descend down into darkness. And she turns back towards you and she's like, "This is where it begins." She says, there are other tunnels that connect to the gauntlet at different places. So each path, there's multiple ways to get in and out of the gauntlet. She's like, and not all of them are held by the dwarves. So you could find other creatures from other civilizations down there, even those that come up from down below. She's like, "Be careful. I hope that I don't have to go and beg another adventuring party to come in after all of you." And she kind of like, it's like pokes at Angoric's knee, and she's like, that was a joke. I'm sure you'll do fine, but please find Fazil and bring him back, and don't let him complete the gauntlet. I want my friend back."
Usa, we promise that we will complete the gauntlet.
She goes, "See, sometimes I just feel like you're not hearing me."
We've already walked in. I know you said it's mostly just skill checks, but I do feel like party order is good for a good visual here.
Yeah.
Oh, why are we back with the
This is the catch-all
Magmar
map.
fire belts?
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
I will say,
Yeah, who of us are ranged characters?
I'm gonna be walking with my hatchet and chalice out. Chalice in one hand, hatchet in the other.
Okay, so front of the line.
Not front of the line.
I
Not
would
front.
also be up front of the line.
Yeah, I'm like
Okay.
With my war axe, or my great axe. But I do also, I now have range ability, so if we need it.
I'm not really ranged or tanky, so I'm trying to go for like a middle or back of the pack. In my head, like preparing for a creature to jump out and attack us. Like the best thing for Wakroon to do is to start identifying weaknesses on it and shouting those out, not being the first one to attack. So
I think Elnet would be a tank, so I am
Yeah,
cool
so how do
with
we
being at the
wanna-
front.
how do we want to line this up? We can line it up on the actual page. Like, what do we want to call the front?
I can go in the front.
Okay. In that case,
So-
I am going to move everyone over here.
Cool.
And then Wakroon would be
I didn't know
like-
how far down. I mean, I can go up to here.
Yeah,
if
you're
we
good, you're
want.
good,
I
you're
just
good.
didn't know.
Yeah, I know, that's fine. You set a precedent. I'm gonna go like third.
No, I'll go
And
second.
you could go on
third.
a shoulder too, potentially. At least
Yeah.
thematically.
True.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on your shoulder.
Okay, Wakroon's shoulder.
Yeah.
And Gorik, you want to be up high, down low?
I think Angoric should take up the rear.
Okay.
I feel like Orpheus being second makes sense if he's like searching. He's not a tank, but he's searching for traps. So being in
Yeah.
front.
You're behind
I
the tank.
figure, yeah, you would just be kind of behind me and like keeping an eye out to be like, hey, don't go there, don't step on this or whatever.
Right.
What about
Like I'm not gonna be trying to outrun you guys or anything like that. So
Huang and Bo? What are you guys thinking?
I think Huang is gonna stand really timidly behind Orpheus, but then Bao is gonna try and like get in between them, almost climb up onto Orpheus, but knowing that that's probably rude, so just kind of standing between them.
Cool.
Orpheus can be Bao can be on Orpheus's shoulder if that's where he wants to be.
That's where he wants to be.
That's fine.
Okay.
Sick.
All right. So you kind of like head into this tunnel, and like I said, the steps just kind of descend further down into the darkness. Huang, are you going to cast light on something? I think you have to actually cast it.
Yes.
Cast it on Bao.
It has to be one object of one bulk or less, possessed by you or a willing ally, and then it casts light in like a 20-foot radius, like a torch. So like, is there something? Is there something that you would be holding, or something that someone else is holding that you want to cast light on?
How much does Bao weigh?
Ooh.
It said a willing
I
creature.
don't know. It says object of one bulk or less. Yeah.
Or willing creature, right? That's what you said?
No. It has to be possessed by you or a willing ally. So like somebody has to be holding
gotcha,
holding the object.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
So
I've
somebody-
got beard. Is there anything else anybody has that they'd like to be?
Yeah, I imagine you or Orpheus or Elnat at the front should probably be one of the ones.
Yeah.
Holding the thing that gives out the light. So like even just someone's weapon, if someone has their weapon out, like that would probably be work.
yeah,
If anybody has like a favorite weapon.
I cannot because I'm holding a two-handed weapon, so I cannot hold it. So
Orpheus, you got like a dagger or something that you got out, maybe?
Short bow out.
Short bow probably weighs one bulk or less, right? Like making an arrow, like your front arrow that's knocked or something could have light coming off of it. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be a challenge though once she is shot.
When she's trying to use
It would put the light over there, right? That's sick.
The light just goes out.
I can enchant my holy symbol and have that project
Okay.
light.
I mean, yeah, I can.
So
If
the
you
light-
want, I could cast it on my hatchet. Like you can cast it on my hatchet. I'm behind you, but it doesn't. 20 foot's probably enough. That doesn't matter. I have my hatchet out, so.
Yeah, having light in the front and the back, I think, would be fine. So yeah, we'll do your hatchet.
Okay.
So yeah, that makes the most sense. Like, you're standing near Huang, so then she's the one that needs it the most. So she can see out to 40 feet. Everybody else can see out to about 60 feet with your dark vision. More, I think, if you have advanced dark vision. I don't know if anybody does or
I've
not.
got
but-
low light vision. Isn't that?
No.
this is
Yeah.
advanced darkness.
Advanced dark vision. Potential name of the episode.
Yeah.
It's Beast Within.
Yeah, The Beast Within. That's a pretty good one.
Delvers.
Dr. Delvers. There you go.
Side Delvers. Yep.
That's fair. We could fit it in there somewhere. Okay. So you descend down into this gauntlet. And it's dark and damp. These walls are scarred by millennia, thousands of years of chisels and picks prying away at its surface. There are patches of fungi that litter the ground. There's fungi all around, occasionally disrupted by a footprint left by prospective challengers. Now, some of these tunnels are so old that stalactites extend from the ceiling and force all but the shortest PCs to have to kind of duck under them. The shortest characters have to like duck past them. But initially, it just seems to be a series of these passages that don't really have a lot of rhyme or reason. So someone's going to have to use some skills here to be able to kind of give you a direction. It's just a tangle of passageways. So, do you have any ideas on skills? You know, the people up front or anybody there that think they can kind of guide our way through here?
Pain.
Check.
+5 survival check. I can roll.
I have a +6 perception or a +4 survival. Or I don't know if thievery would help me here. Probably not.
Okay.
I'd be down to roll a perception.
Yeah, I'm thinking perception for me.
Yeah, I mean, perception is better than survival for me, but I feel like survival, like with my the track is a trained ability. Like, if
Yeah,
we're
you're
trying
talking
to-
about a bonus with caves. Is that was that specific to
Yeah,
a certain skill?
survival. Yeah,
Survival. Okay.
yeah. So it's
I think that would be
my
pretty
free
good.
feat of terrain expertise underground. So I gain a +1 circumstance bonus to survival checks while I am underground. So
Do you have cave lore?
I do have
also?
cave lore. Yes, that's only a +3.
Is that only +3? Okay. So,
my
I would
esoteric
say-
would actually be slightly better in that situation. It'd be a +4.
So I would say that of the things that you guys mentioned, perception, survival, or cave lore would probably be your best bets. So who wants to give it a go first?
Would
I've got survival +7, so I can go.
Nice.
Yeah. Are we gonna get is it beneficial for us to all do different roles, or should just one person be doing this role?
You really just have to succeed to get past this obstacle.
Okay.
Basically.
Can we try to aid, with a different
Can.
check? Maybe
can.
maybe I try to use my cave lore isn't great. It's only a +3, but I can roll cave lore to be talking because Huang's right in front of me, so I can be pointing out things that are relevant in these cave systems, since Huang is maybe sort of new to them, and my entire job is a delver. So I'd argue that I should be pretty good at this, because it's literally what I do every single day. So being able to try to aid, or at least I give you a number that I hit, and then you can tell me if it aids for her. Does that work? Is that okay?
I'm going to say that in terms of aiding, it's probably a DC 15 to aid on this check.
Okay, it doesn't hurt to try, I guess. I'm still gonna go with the cave lore. Perception is much better, but I think cave lore makes more sense. So, and for my second roll of the evening, a natural 2. At this rate, in 18 more rolls, I'll get a natural 20.
There you go.
What does that make it? What's your total?
A total of a 5.
Ooh.
Well, that makes it a critical failure, doesn't it? And
What,
below the
can you-
DC.
Can you critically fail an assist?
Yep.
Then
Yikes.
yes, if you said 15, it is 10 below.
Yep. Okay. Does anybody else want to try something, or are we going to let Huang give it a shot first?
I would like to, but I don't think I
said you
can
have the
really
option.
justify anything. I mean, other than perception, but
Yeah, you have the option to try and aid here, or you can wait and make your own check after we do Huang's roll.
I'd
I'll
say-
aid if you will allow it.
Yeah.
Cool.
You want to roll perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not great. I got a 13 perception.
Okay. So that doesn't quite meet the DC.
Doesn't critically fail, but
Doesn't fail. Doesn't make it harder on Huang. All right, Sarah, do you want to roll? What did you get? Did you, Josh? You trying to roll too?
No, I was.
Oh, okay.
Let's stop failing Huang here.
we immediately
Alright.
get kicked out.
I do like the image of us just walking in and then walking immediately back out and be like, "Ooh, so we tried, but it's just too hard.
Too
We
hard.
don't know whether to turn left or right."
22.
Nice.
Nice.
Ow.
22 is pretty good. All right. 22 on the old. I lost track of what I was trying to do. Survival check. You rolled a survival check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I don't know how this is supposed to go. Maybe you are all supposed to roll a check.
Sure. Roll a perception.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That makes it easier
As
for
long
you.
as I get to reroll, I'm okay with whatever should we fake.
No.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me look at
whatever is easier on you.
Rolled a 1 and a 2 on 2 different
Really, I
dice.
just
Might
want
I
an
add.
excuse to roll this big old die. I haven't used it yet.
The boulder.
The boulder
cool.
is confused.
The boulder is over his conflicted feelings.
That was one of my original character ideas, was to basically make the boulder.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I could have played as the boulder in our Starfinder game, and I didn't realize it until well after the game was over, and I'm kind of mad at myself.
That's funny. Okay, so I understand a little bit better now. This is a group obstacle, so you all just have to surpass it as a group. There are some that might be individual ones, so everyone's gonna have to make their own checks, make their own decisions. This is a group obstacle, so if you're working together, that's more than enough with that survival check to succeed. So you're able to find your way kind of through these like confusing passageways, and eventually you get to a point where there's like a number of paths that you can take. So we'll say, it's very Mines of Moria-esque, where there's like 3 routes going from here, and you kind of have to make a decision. And at this point, there are a number of scratches and chalk markings. So there's like somebody wrote, but it looks like it's almost written in some type of code. But it's like a bunch of symbols and stuff drawn on the wall near these passageways, maybe, and there's like little symbols maybe drawn over each one.
God, can we split up?
So it would take some some knowledge probably here to try and determine what these symbols indicate.
Would it be like knowledge local, or
Like, what about just good old esoteric roll there, my good friend Brendan?
Yeah, I mean that's esoteric. Esoteric basically counts as any type of lore, right?
Yeah, yeah. If it's not
Okay.
one of 3 things, it's at a -2. So
What are those 3 things?
that's not these. So
Okay.
it would be at a +4 for me instead of a +6. It's how I have been reading it. So.
Okay. Yeah. Now, if you have
haunts, curses,
if
and
you-
creatures.
There you go.
Okay. But yeah, you could probably also argue for it'd be probably kobold lore or cave lore. First off, if you think that if anybody, I'm sure somebody's got kobold lore written on their sheet as a specific skill that they've got.
No, I don't
no?
even know that language.
That's fair. Survival could work, or someone could roll a society check if you got a higher society.
I got a high
was-
society check.
I got a decent society
Yeah.
check.
+0.
I'd say let's have Huang roll survival again, since she's on a roll.
There you go.
Yeah, is this another one that we can do aiding
Yeah.
on, or should we roll individually?
Yeah, you can aid if you want.
Okay.
I'll aid with the society roll if we all want to do that.
I'll try for.
Can I call dibs on that? Because I have a +7 on society.
Can multiple people try, Brendan, or is this preferably
Yeah,
just one?
multiple people can try.
All right,
Cool.
I am going to go for.
I got an 18 society.
Woo!
I'm going for survival, and the idea that I think Wakroon has here is that this is early enough on that he thinks a majority of people probably get this right, so he's looking for tracks to see what is the path most traveled, and is going to go for that.
Austin's trying to get some RP bonuses for his bad dice rolls.
I rolled an 8 this time, so still garbage. But that's a total of a 12 is what I did a survival, so 8 and 12.
Yeah.
Not a
And you don't
bonus
even have
either.
to tell me. You don't have
Yeah.
to tell me if it worked or not, but just know that that's what I tried. Maybe there's not a lot of people who have done it recently. It's really hard to narrow down the tracks. So
Maybe.
And Gordon
And rolled from a 20 to a 2 for a 9.
Oh, okay.
hey, 2 gang.
bang,
So-
bang, bang.
All right. So Huang's gonna try another survival roll. Was that the goal?
I think so. Huang, are you there?
Yes, I'm rolling.
Oh, okay. With your
Process.
dice.
3. Natural 3.
Dang.
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
All right. So with your bonus, that make it a 10.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't feel like that was successful. So you try to kind of decipher what was written here. And then I think Elnat is going to come up behind you and be like, he's for whatever reason, maybe he's seen someone write down some stuff in Draconic before, or maybe he just kind of has a better idea of what they're drawing, and he's like, oh, it's a picture. They drew symbols over the doors to kind of indicate what lies ahead. Somebody's apparently scouted both of these trails and found out that they both lead to the same place, but they have different obstacles ahead. One of them kind of looks like it's supposed to be like maybe like a trap of some kind. Like it's got like a picture like a tripwire and maybe something like swinging at you. And the other one looks like it's a pit with spikes at the bottom.
Is there just two options here?
Yeah, there's the option. It looks like those are the marked trails. The other ones are unmarked, which might mean that you can go that way, and
or it might be
and
the
get where
guy
you're
that went to
going,
scout them died.
Yeah.
So there's two survivable ones.
Theoretically, if we were looking for Fazil, we need to go down all of these routes because he could be in any one of them.
That's true.
So we have to get the mind of this small kobold and try to guess which one's the most likely route for him to take.
A smaller character would be closer to the ground to a tripwire, so they would have a better time.
But do we think that he got this challenge correct? He's a kobold, so do we think he has any draconic knowledge or would recognize these pictures?
If the DM is correct and it's literally in Draconic, he should be able to speak Draconic.
He should read it.
Assuming,
He also could have been the one that left the note.
So he went down both the paths and then came back and left the note for us?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I say we take
not the most likely option, but it is an option.
I say we just continue down as if we are doing the challenge and hope that we hear and or see something.
Yeah,
and the worst case scenario is we have to double back. But I think best case scenario is that we all find a coin and get to be part of the Thieves Guild, and that's what actually starts this adventure. And then we just ignore Brazil with an F.
Azil. I'll give you one more piece of information if it helps you to make a decision. The spiked pit might be something that everyone individually has to overcome. You have to find a way to get to the other side of it. Whereas if one way is trapped, if you can find a way to disable it, then everyone will just be able to pass by. So only one person has to be able to figure that out.
Our old rogue master Orpheus, with her high thievery skill, should be able to disarm some traps for us. So, if you said out loud what you described them as, I think Wakaruin would go, aye, because I don't know about trying to figure out some way to get us all across that what looks to be some sort of a pit. But I have confidence in our friend Orpheus here and his ability to disarm any sort of traps we might run across. I say we go left. That's my vote, at least.
I'll try. I have a +7 thievery, but depends on how I roll.
This strange +7 symbol just appears above Orpheus's head as he's saying.
I haven't seen a +7 in many moons. I've just been rolling fucking 1s and 2s. What say the rest of you? Which way do you think we should go?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think Elnat would agree that that's probably going to be our best bet. Definitely agrees with just continuing on like we're trying to complete the challenge. I think that's going to be our best bet.
Yeah, and Karu is willing to aid on that thievery to try and disarm if need be.
Cool.
On you with a smile.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Let's go.
So you're going the trapped route.
I believe Orpheus, you should probably take the lead here. Be on the lookout for the traps.
Should I go ahead and roll?
That's more of a DM question.
I don't
What'd
know
you
if
say?
that actually matters, but
Do we go ahead and roll like a thievery check, or do we just proceed?
Oh no! So you guys move forward down this path, the path that seems to indicate that there's a trap of some kind, and you eventually come to like a very like kind of wide open room that you could kind of it's wider than like some of these other places have been so far, and there is a visible tripwire like running along the ground, and there are some places where there are like seams in between the floor tiles. So you see, like, definitely the makings of some kind of trap here. And now, if you want to, you can try to take a look at this with a thievery check or perception.
can we all? Can I just like roll to see if I notice anything extra? Like
Yeah.
not just not necessarily I like trying to help identify traps or something. Just a separate perception check.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean it's probably just like it was before, where we can all make one if we want.
18. Just
I
looking.
rolled a 19 thievery. I guess I'd like to know if I could like disarm it.
Okay.
You rolled 19, so you got 20 or 19
No,
total.
no.
19
Like,
total.
Okay,
Total.
19 total. Okay, I was just
okay.
like, nice.
And if I roll to aid her, does that give her a +2? Is that how that
Eight's-
works? in
eight's
this?
plus
If
one in this.
Plus
you're,
1 in this?
it's plus one, but
I
you
like
can
to-
roll an additional thievery check if you want, just to try and help out. Some of these obstacles do require more than one success, so multiple
Okay.
successes are good.
I did a perception check and I got a 22.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Yeah, just
so
looking for
first of
other
all,
clues.
yeah, you Elnat and Walkarun like walk into this room and they're like, you know, dwarf stone sense going on right now. They're just like looking around, looking for any unusual stonework and anything like that. And they identify almost immediately that the tripwire doesn't appear to be connected to anything, but there is in fact a false floor tile that
Ooh.
activates the trap. So they spot it almost
Nice.
immediately, and that enables Orpheus to like be able to go and like loosen that tile and then prop up, like, use just like, maybe get a little bit of like loose gravel or something and like slide it underneath that floor tile so that it can't depress into the ground. You can't press it down and activate that part of the trap.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Okay, so I think we're probably actively proceeding to make sure there's no other traps.
But you do see that so basically that floor tile was there to trigger a dart launcher that's kind of like embedded in the wall. So like that's still there and still active right now. You think that you probably disabled the only way to trigger it, but that's still present also.
Would I be able to pull out the darts?
You could try a thievery check, try and maybe disable that part of it.
Can I roll over the one I rolled but didn't announce?
Yeah,
Or do I have to roll a new one?
that's fine.
Oh, okay,
What did you get?
I got 22.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Nice.
So, yeah, you take a look at it, and you can basically loosen the mechanism that has all the darts ready to go, and then you can pull the darts out, and you get 4 darts from this
Nice.
thing, and it looks like at least one of them has been coated with some poison.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
And they all bear a special maker's mark on them. So there's a very small emblem that's emblazoned on the end of these darts.
Cool. It's like burning on there with the magic?
No, it's
Oh.
embossed into it, like it's stamped into the.
God.
Can I
Is
do
it-
That would have been really cool.
either lore heraldry check or a society check to see if I recognize the emblem?
Yeah, I think either of those would work.
Good thing they're the same bonus. 20.
20. Okay, 20 is a good check. So I guess you allow Angoric to see one of these, and probably like as soon as you do, I think I mean, Elnat would recognize the symbol, although it's similar to his own family crest, but it is the M of Clan Mulgrade, the smithing clan.
No.
Oh,
That's my clan.
interesting.
These darts were crafted by dwarven smiths. But Angoric realizes he looks at it a little bit closer and realizes that instead of like the square outline and stylized M that's normally there, it's kind of like wavy. So it is very similar to Clan Mulgrade's symbol, but maybe it's a specific smith that's crafted these that you'd be able to trace it back to.
Hmm.
Okay.
Uh,
The plot
I would
thickens.
imagine that Elnet and Goric, as locals, um, consult with each other about this a little bit and say,
Would I know?
And
Like-
like ask if I can take one from Karu to show it to Elnet.
No, I give you the whole set because I'm also not entirely sure if one of them is poisoned or not, and would like assurances from other experts on maybe which one is poisoned.
Yeah.
I-
No, so
I put my tongue gently against the tip of each of them to taste to see if which one's
His
poisoned.
teeth, the tip of the tongue.
yeah, so they are all coated with some type of venom, and you could probably roll a society check or something like that to try and determine what's on it. Nature would probably work.
No, it's just
Um,
everywhere.
Medicine, maybe?
Fucking.
Medicine even? Yeah. Okay.
Not in the
Um,
moment.
it's-
not
it's-
much.
Yeah, but they do look like they're kind of coated in poison. Yeah, if you want to take a look at it. So yeah, if you show it to Elnat, I would say that he probably doesn't recognize it right off the bat. There are multiple, smithies that operate under Clan Mulgrade throughout the city, and it's always difficult to tell, if another cousin or uncle or aunt is kind of like broken off on their own and is now trying to like smith their own like brand sort of, because they're all kind of constantly trying to outdo each other. Kind of a family trait.
Damn smithing. Damn smiths.
That's popular around here.
Yeah.
Families on families.
Mhm.
What's that about?
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
That's why I find all of my gear underground. I have to deal with people.
So, as you're sitting here, you kind of hear the Black Noon itself kind of start to emanate like a little bit of music. Maybe it's just the wind going down the hallways, but it sounds like a weird flute almost is being played. But it kind of like, it just makes you think of sadness. And it's just like reminds you of the emotion of being sad and also like that. Yeah, it just kind of, it drains your energy a little bit.
Can I do a will check to not be sad?
Yeah, so I think gosh, we've got to delete these. So it's not-
the episode.
Nailed it.
I say I like
Okay.
that as the name of an episode too.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll check to not be sad. Yeah, so it's not physically affecting you at this point. It's just kind of it's maybe like something that you heard about or you were warned about before going into the gauntlet. It's just like sometimes the Black Noon itself will try to discourage you from going forward.
I'm just saying, emotional control is like my entire game. So the fact that
That's
this
true.
is like controlling part of my being.
Yeah. No, definitely it probably rankles Karu's
Yeah.
a little
I'm
bit.
not feeling 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting to me.
So, yeah. I mean, does anybody check on the darts anything further, or are you just ready to
Yeah.
keep on going?
Not for right now, I don't think. I think I can like hold on to those.
Um,
Because this gauntlet isn't a bad thing per se. It's not like people are doing evil here or whatever. Like this is just a gauntlet. So I guess the implication that we would assume so far is that maybe we can find out some clans that are involved in setting this up. But I don't necessarily think that would be like a crime or anything. Like I guess it is the Thieves Guild, so it's kind of like a test for criminals. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like super evil by any means.
well, and I'm sure these things are just like any other weapons that you can buy at
That's true. Yeah,
you know,
it doesn't have
some
to even
shop.
doesn't even implicate the smith themselves. It just implicates whoever
Mhm.
bought them. So, if we need to find out that information later, it's good to know that bit. So,
I think we need to focus on it too much while we're within the depths of the
yeah,
gauntlet.
I agree.
That's fair. All right, so you continue on.
We should just turn around and we go back out like, we found these darts. They have a symbol on them. We'll be back for your friend.
Mhm.
New adventure.
We'll come back to help your friend finish the gauntlet.
Right. So, you keep going, and the path kind of narrows again. And then, but like this is it's a maze, so you're kind of like going through all these tunnels, and occasionally it comes out to like more open areas. But it's still usually like fairly clear where you should go next. And you see kind of you come into one of these more open areas, and the edge of your light kind of reveals that there's like a ravine that kind of runs alongside one edge of the gauntlet. And there is a we'll say like a stalactite that is like fallen and like is like precariously like kind of like leaning over the edge. And if you take a look kind of into this ravine, you're kind of like curious, like look and see what's going on down there. A little ways down, we'll say like 20 or 30 feet down into this ravine, on a very precarious ledge, there appears to be a corpse of someone or something like leaning over the edge of this ravine, like they're half on, half off, like they maybe like they got hit by the stalactite, and then they got shoved off the edge, and they weren't able to get back up, or the impacts killed them. Whatever happens, their body is sitting down there on the edge, and it looks like it's in a very tedious spot. Like it could potentially continue falling the rest of the way.
Perception check on if it's the kobold, right? I figure that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like everyone is probably, if notices this, goes and looks. So that would be a 17 for old Wakroon.
Okay. Yeah, so you take a look, try to get an idea of what's going on here. The body looks maybe a little too big to be a kobold.
Yeah,
you think that maybe this is a medium-sized creature. But you do notice that this creature appears to be wearing a very nice set of studded leather armor that appears to be etched with runes of some kind.
So are we going to go grave rob them is the question now.
And they have a backpack on them that appears to be like quite full of some kind of loot.
Jesus Christ.
I want to be noted that my Fujitsu delayed after you said they have a really great set. And I thought that you had done that.
A really good
girl dragon.
It's a girl dragon.
Of course, it's a girl dragon.
I think Wakroon would lean over, see that, and be like, "Hey, that creature or that person looks too big to be a kobold friend," and without a second thought, just keeps on walking. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to walk through the people that are in front of him, but he notices it, says that out loud, and keeps walking. So unless the people in front of him stop and are like, "We should go down there and loot that," he's not going to do that. So,
and Gorik would stop and let out a quick prayer for the deceased. And he would say, "I did not know you. In fact, I have no idea who you are. But the Mother's mercy may extend to us all." And he says, "Fulgurt bless you and protect you in the afterlife."
Wakroon turns around, he goes, "And Gorik, that was very kind of you." And then just turns around and keeps walking. Yeah.
Oh, Karu's getting his rope out of his bag on Wakroon's shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's starting to get his pistons ready. And
Karu, what you get into the rope?
Oh, I could reach that easy. Yeah, this is nothing.
Oh,
I've seen things like this.
Is there
last month?
Oh, okay. Huang, Orpheus, Elnats, do you want to stop and see if we couldn't work with this I think Karu wants to stop and take a look at him up close. Might be able to learn something valuable from the creature.
I mean, I would.
Haru's
I
never
would
steered me wrong.
I would stay with
Yeah,
Karu,
I mean,
but I'm not. I am not
adventurer
going
to
to loot it.
adventurer. Yeah, it's just a respectful thing between me and the
Yeah,
obvious.
absolutely. I'm sure that we can. And he like starts looking for a spot to potentially like tie off the rope on like what looks like a really sturdy stalagmite, are the ones that grow out up, right?
Leg.
Up. Yeah, they grow up.
Yeah,
'cause
so like a
tights
sturdy.
are from that.
Yeah, tight from so it's a sturdy stalagmite, maybe a survival check or something to see if he can help tie on the rope really well and have him throw it over the edge and have Karu go down it. If that, I guess, are we picturing this right, Brendan? Would this like that work? Could we get down to it if we tied something off and
Yeah,
threw over
I mean,
the
there's 5 of you, so you can definitely hold the rope if you want to hold the rope for Karu.
I guess he is
but
just a
he's gonna.
puppet.
I'm that big,
Yeah.
so
He's-
I don't weigh nothing. I'm
he's like,
stuffed.
but
I still want the leverage. I think.
yeah, but then I think he's gonna have to try some kind of check to try and grab this stuff.
Someone's gotta
off
go
the
with him.
ledge.
Yeah, I pull out a folding chair I have in my pack that I put behind me, and then while I'm in front of it, I cast telekinetic projectile on it to launch it through me towards the body, and then I land hopefully near it to where I can grab onto something.
Just
Okay.
yeets himself. That's dope.
If that's what you want to attempt, then I would say you could make a reflex save, maybe, to see if you
Okay.
like grab on.
Okay, wait,
Yeah,
let's talk about this first. If you fail, does this yeet you into this cavern, and how
No,
far
that's
down
what the
is?
rope's for. No, we set up the
Oh,
rope.
okay.
I
You're
cut
tied to the rope. Got it.
Yeah, and then you eat me, and if
Okay.
I miss, yeah, you pull me back and we try
We
again.
just tried again. Okay, so we're just taking 20 on this bitch. We might telekinetic projectile. Is that a cantrip? Is telekinetic projectile a cantrip? Can you like,
Yeah, it's a
cast that
cantrip.
infinitely?
And I
can't-
got a 10 my first try.
Can't fail.
Remember,
Okay.
remember Quirky and his doorknob?
I do remember Kirby this one up.
Kirby in the doorknob, yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a good
Oh.
episode name.
Back down.
Kirby and the
It would
doorknob.
have been Kirby in the doorknob. Kirby's community service.
Just-
So you got a 10, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, 10 is not enough. So basically, you launch yourself down there, and you brush up against the thing and you try to scrabble to like reach, grab a hold of it as you're flying by, and you don't, and that makes both the body and the backpack start to fall into the ravine.
Oh.
So you have a split-second decision. You might be able to grab one of those two things, but not both
Yeah.
of them.
Okay. Definitely the pack.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always take the mystery gifts.
Adventure at heart, I'm going for the artifacts.
Yeah, so as the body's falling, you see that it's the corpse of a dwarf, and in one ear he's got 2 like shiny like moonstone earrings like, pierced into his ear. So the body like falls down, and you grab a hold of the backpack and they kind of reel you back up. So you can kind of dump out
Yeah,
the
we put-
contents.
Hi, you knocked the body off, but I see you're able to get the backpack. I guess it could have been worse.
Yeah, sorry, my mage hand is weaker in this form.
It
I-
is
In the old days, I could have gotten
Should have used my strong hand.
Oh,
My
God.
hand's not strong enough.
I hate that scene so much.
That's gross.
It's so gross.
So
It's
funny.
I've lost my appetite to talk. No, but yeah, he'd go. Hi, I can see you grabbed the backpack, and I guess it is not exactly a burial that you gave that dwarf, but it is better than nothing.
He's more at
Thank-
rest now than he was earlier.
Thank you, Karu. I think. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's open up this bag.
Yeah, don't thank me yet. Let's see what we got.
Hi, you
And
do the
Gor-
honors. You are able to grab it.
Okay, I open it up and display it on the ground.
Nice.
And Angoric is a little bit horrified from this. He definitely does not support stealing from the dead, no matter where they got there.
Well, that doesn't happen anymore.
What?
Yeah, they're not there, buddy.
No, we took the backpack off the dead, so it's no longer the dead. It's good now.
That is exactly my point.
Totally kosher.
And he will walk over to the edge of the ledge and kind of stare down into the abyss. He's not going to kill himself, but he's going to take out a vial of like holy ointment and kind of like
Holy ointment.
put it
He
on his
says-
fingers and
It's
just-
a lube.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
the
Lick it down into the ravine while saying another prayer to Fulgrit to bless.
He says, "On the Omni apparatus." Huh. Omni. Yes. Okay.
What's the Raven thing?
The Raven thing.
Teen Titans. What does she say?
Azeroth, Metreon, and
Yeah.
Xenthos.
Azaroth, Metro, Zinthos. He throws down holy ointment.
Okay. So you dump out the backpack. So first of all, it's a nice backpack. It was clearly meant to be brought on some type of adventuring quest. And inside there is a long, narrow vial of some type of elixir. There is a goat that's been carved out of soapstone.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a soft. There's a goat. No, there's a goat that's been carved out of some soft soapstone. And then there's a smattering of silver pieces. It looks like about 37 silver pieces.
All right.
Look,
Uh,
we made a profit. Well run.
There's
I-
37
Divided by
6.
6. That's not a clean number. Damn it.
I'll say there's 36 silver pieces. And
There we go.
one flies back into the abyss.
We throw one in as like you throw it into the
That's
wishing
like
well.
yeah.
I wish you to live or die well, creature. I'm not very religious, so I don't know how this works, but I feel like a silver piece is probably worth a soul or something. And then I add 6 silver to my.
Yeah, silver piece for a soul. That's the old saying.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I believe that's what they say, and I add 6 silver to my sheet.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to roll checks to identify things, right? That wasn't really a thing very much in Starfinder, so I'm not super familiar with the process. So what does that look like for this, Brendan?
That's a good question. You're talking about the elixir?
The elixir, and I guess can we do something? Can somebody roll an Arcana check on the soapstone goat to see if it's anything or occultism?
Yeah,
I've
I
got a
have
pretty-
detect magic.
I've got good Arcana and
Anything.
good
Got 0
occultism.
on both, so I'm gonna tap out.
Tap out.
I got a 20 after bonus for either Arcana or occult.
Okay.
24 Arcana.
Nice.
I am waiting to see what it says to do.
Yeah. So identify magic is you can spend 10 minutes to determine if an item, location, or ongoing effect is magical and determine the particulars of its magic. Each tradition has corresponding skills. So arcane magic is obviously Arcana checks. Divine magic is a religion check. Cult magic is an occultism check, and primal magic is a nature check. So you said Arcana, and you said you got a 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I got a 20, but Karu got, what was it, 24?
24, yeah.
Okay, and then both are Arcana checks.
The idea here
well,
being
it
that we
comes to
can't
school and music.
we can't say what it is, so you just roll a check on one of those, and then if it's right, we learn something.
Yeah.
But if you were wrong, you
So-
don't know.
Yeah, so that's fine. This is something called an infiltrator's elixir. So it's used to make you more stealthy.
Interesting. That feels like a Orpheus type potion to me. A real
It's written all
roguelike.
over it.
I need that when I'm waking up in the morning and trying to be quiet.
There you go.
Yeah, so favored by spies and tricksters, infiltrator's elixir is used to alter your appearance. Once imbibed, you take the shape of a humanoid creature of your size, but different enough so you are unrecognizable.
Cool.
Dope.
Very nice.
Do we want to just give that to Orpheus? Does anyone have any opposition to that?
Do it.
No.
Make the stealthier?
I mean,
Yeah.
if we absolutely
Yeah, I mean,
have
we
to
can always
give
trade it
someone
off.
else, then we
Yeah.
can. But
Can
I
at least
think
let
Orpheus
her
would
him hold
be
on to it. So
most likely to use it.
I agree.
Use the filter button in consumables.
Cool. And not to say that he stinks or nothing. Like, I just want to make that clear. It's no offense.
Yeah.
You know,
The-
handing the guy a
The
bar
best
of
get
soap.
better. Yeah, I like it. And then the goat thing. Can we roll a check on that? Of the same for nature or anything? Just guess and see if we can learn if we guess right on what it could possibly be.
It's not magical or anything. It's just a valuable item. You can sell it.
Okay.
I don't think anybody probably has like appraise or anything like that where you could like determine its value, but
I do not know.
In
Where
that
would
case,
the price be?
yeah, I don't know what skill that is. But I would probably say, Karu, just keep it with you. You found
Yeah.
it.
I'm good to hold on to it.
And then
What
the
was it called?
backpack. What's I guess both those things. What is it called, and what's the?
don't be afraid to simply tell players what the items are worth. Well, so I went to I googled it. I was like, what is the appraise skill in Pathfinder? And somebody was like, am I missing something, or is there no appraise skill anymore? And the third comment on there is from James Jacobs, the creative director at Paizo, and he says, you should just tell players what they're worth. It might sacrifice a little bit of verisimilitude, but by the time you save yourself from keeping track of the value of every single bit of treasure on your own and having to split up these items, and if players that don't know whether they can trust the appraisals or not, is not worth it in my opinion, and should not be in your games.
Shout out Paizo. Love it.
Respect.
So the soapstone goat carving is worth 8 silver pieces, or in this case, actually, we're going to say 12 because it's more evenly divisible by 6.
If we could just ironically have everything be divisible by 6, that would be dope.
Yeah. So we'll say it's
If
worth.
not, we'll just sacrifice some of it to something, and we'll be fine.
That's right.
Yeah, always just sacrifice to the dead beings of the things that we've killed or have been killed around us.
Because we will.
Yeah,
It's worth
We'll do
12
those
silver
actions.
pieces. So for our purposes here,
the great mob.
you can just add that 2 silver pieces to everybody's
By the time we
inventory,
get
like
out,
yours.
we'll have sold it.
Soon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
assume you're going to sell it.
So
Because it doesn't have a purpose other than selling it. The only exception I would say
apiece?
is if at some point later, yeah, it's 2 silver pieces each, so it's not anything huge.
Okay.
But if there are like gems or something that you guys want to keep as gems to be able to like give to people or something like that, like you could do that. But like in most
In this
cases,
case,
you're
the
probably just going to
soapstone
sell it.
thing, we're gonna sell it. Okay, cool. I'm
Ooh.
into that.
Yeah, we could like bribe guards and stuff.
Yeah.
So the only other thing that
have
we
gems.
don't know exactly what it is this backpack. That sounds like maybe a
It's just like a
adventurer's
backpack.
backpack. It's just a normal backpack.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody not have a backpack?
I think I do.
I do too.
Yes, I do.
I have a little one.
Okay, I have one too. So someone just hold onto it or grab another backpack, and then we'll just sell it when we get out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worth very much, but okay.
Worth one.
So that's probably a decent place to kind of leave it off. You guys are continuing on into the maze, and yeah, I think we'll have. Actually, let's have. Who's in front? Is it Elnat?
Yeah, me.
Mhm.
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Sep.
22.
Ooh, good percep.
So Elnat starts to like maybe you get to a point where you have to like open a door to continue forward. Like there's this random wooden door like in the middle of this tunnel, and so you start to open it up, and you push on it, and you see like inside you see like a string being pulled tight, and you see like a mechanism attached to the string, and so you know that there's something trapped on the other side of that door, and you hear somebody shout on the other side of the door. Who is it? Who's there? Stay away! And we'll pick up there next time.
All right.
All right. All
It
right.
gives me a full week to come up with a fake name.
Yeah.
Sounds
Good plan.
good.
Actually, I know the perfect fake name to use.
Lanet. This is Lanet.
No.
Goodbye, stream.
no,
Goodbye, YouTube. Shout out Gravity Hunter 27 for the follow. Yeah. Until next week. Bye bye.